Good morning, PT on Ice. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Dr. Alexis Morgan. I am one of two lead faculty with clinical management of the fitness athlete pregnancy and postpartum. We are really looking forward to a couple new courses coming up. So we've got today's Monday, April 18th. So next Monday, the 26th, we open up another cohort for our online course. So that's an 8-week online course. We would love for you to join us. We get so much good feedback in this course about how approachable it is and how there's just so much to learn in this space. And this online format kind of allows for time to really soak in that material. We've also had various males reach out asking they want to learn more about this, but they are not ready to go to any kind of internal course. And this online course is really, really good for that. So if you're on the fence, know that you've got a week to decide. But we would love to have you in that April 26th cohort. And also, we've got this upcoming weekend, this course in our live course, rather, in Denver, Colorado, or right outside of it at Parker at Onward Denver. So we are really looking forward to continuing rolling with that. The live course has been awesome where we do internal work as well as we're doing exercise. We're getting under a barbell. We are hanging from the rig. We're really blending the worlds of internal pelvic health and that fitness forward approach that you all know and love so well. That is ICE Physio. So there's several other courses this year. The live courses, if Denver's not looking like one for you, but we would love to have you join us as well for that one. All right, so let's get into today's topic. So the title is Optimizing Suboptimal. And this is our jobs. I feel like really this is our job as a physical therapist in general. As we are guiding people towards health, we recognize that everyone lives in some form or fashion in a suboptimal area, right? We know from the literature what optimal is. If we look at kind of our main three categories of are we exercising, are we sleeping, and are we eating well, we really do know what optimal is. And not only do we know that, but everyone knows what optimal is. You know, you ask Joe Schmo off the street, and he's going to say that, yeah, you should sleep 8 hours a night, you should eat fruits and vegetables, and and you should exercise. Like, yes, no one really argues with that is how we obtain health. But if it was that easy, we wouldn't have this job, right? We wouldn't have all of these issues that we're seeing as physical therapists. And when it boils down into the pregnancy and especially postpartum phases, we're really in a suboptimal. Maybe that person is used to living life. They figured out what their optimal is. And now that there's a newborn at home, or now that they're pregnant and feeling crappy, they're not able to do their optimal. So it's now suboptimal. And so many of us, especially so many of our clients, wind up being very black and white, right? Well, all or nothing. If I can't do what I was doing before, then screw it. I'm not going to do any of that, right? Or they're doing their best, but mentally, they just can't be okay with what they're doing that is their best until it's optimal, until it's perfect, right? And we know that it may be a while before they're back to that. As again, especially if they've got a newborn little baby at home that is requiring a lot of them, especially in the middle of the night. It'll be a while before their sleep is perfectly optimized, if ever. So it's our jobs to come alongside our people and help them optimize their suboptimal. And this is where it's challenging. The answer really lies in the nuance because not every person is going to have the same suboptimal situation. Not every person is going to have the same motivations or the same um, capacities. And so that's where we have to have these conversations with people. So take sleep for instance. If there is someone who they really loved before pregnancy, loved having 8.5 hours of sleep every night, went to bed, woke up at about the exact same time, and it was pretty much 8.5 hours every night. She felt really good. She felt like she could push it hard in the gym because she was recovering. Now, with baby, she's waking up every 2 hours. So she's getting that highly interrupted sleep, and it's making her feel like a zombie the next day. Sounds pretty familiar, right? That's most of our new parents. And so, how do we help her optimize this suboptimal situation? This is where we can talk about all of these sleep hygiene tools, right? Like, can we before bed, can we just keep all the lights darker or dim? You still need to be up and doing things. We get that. But can we make those lamps? Can you get those orangey lamps that keep it really dark and not turn on those overheads? Right? Can we get the clock and can you just put the face down? We don't necessarily need to have that clock shining in our eyes telling us what time it is as we're trying to fall back asleep after a midnight feeding. It doesn't change anything knowing what time it is. It only adds to the stress levels knowing that you still have to get up in a few hours, right? So we optimize that suboptimal. We make that environment where she's sleeping much better or as she's winding down much better to make that sleep as good as it can get in this situation. I would never tell a new mom to get more sleep. New parents in general, they would love that, but that's not in the cards. So optimize suboptimal. We have this conversation a lot with food, with diet. So many times in pregnancy, especially in this fitness athlete space where we've got people who are very used to counting macros or very used to having eaten very clean or paleo or eating a certain way and avoiding certain foods. And then pregnancy hits, and suddenly they are either A, super nauseous and never wanting to eat, or B, they are craving the most bizarre foods that are not considered healthy. Um, and they're trying to cut themselves away from eating those extra carbs or whatever it may be. And they're really struggling. Oftentimes, honestly, it's A and B. It's nausea and minimal appetite with random cravings of foods that they once said absolutely not. I will not eat like that in my pregnancy. And so, how do we optimize this suboptimal situation? Do we just say, well, eat the chicken anyway, even though it looks disgusting to you and you feel like you're going to vomit whenever you look at it? No, we're going to have to help them optimize this suboptimal in a way that's good for them. Now, some people, they may say, look, I know I need that protein. It's not that bad. I'm just going to go ahead and do it after you highlight the need. But some people are like, no, I will not eat that. And so sometimes we may have to have the conversation of, well, how bad is the bread that you're craving? Is it going to kill you? You need calories. You need to have energy for your body, not only because it's working really, really hard as it's changing and growing this human, but also because you need it as an athlete, as a working person, like as a person in general, like we need energy. And so trying to help them recognize sometimes it's okay to eat some foods that were on your no list because you need something. And then our last example, and I would love to hear some examples from you all too. But our last example is on exercise, right? So we've got an athlete who is used to exercising really hard, 6 days a week. On the seventh day, they really don't take a rest. It's more of an active rest. They're getting out in the community, walking around. Now they're pregnant or now they're postpartum and their schedule is completely different. And they're having a hard time getting in, but 2 days a week. Postpartum, 2 days a week in the gym. And they're feeling really, really cruddy about it. Sometimes optimizing suboptimal just means reframing it for them. Y'all getting into the gym 2 days a week, early postpartum, when everything is flipped on its head, when you're not when all these things have changed, that's a big win. Yeah, it's not what they did before. Yeah, it's not what they're going to do later, but it's a step in that direction. And so sometimes we reframe that and we say, that's amazing. You've been getting in 2 days a week for the last month. That is really setting you up for success. So sometimes it's just reframing it. Other times it's helping them recognize that a workout at home, while they can't get into the gym, while they can't lift that heavy barbell that they are so ready to lift, but instead they're lifting their baby and they're getting their squats with baby, or they're laying on the floor and doing some stretches while they're playing with their baby with tummy time. Like sometimes we want to optimize that situation. And so it can look different for every individual. And that's the beautiful thing. And that's where we come in as these experts and help them devise a plan that helps them meet their goals that they're after. One, helps them feel better, which is then going to help them meet their goals. Two, and then three is just going to help create a more robust human. This time period is very, very challenging. And oftentimes they need that guide to step in. And sometimes I'm a bit more of a guide and I'm saying, okay, here is your plan based off of what we're talked about. What do you think? And we can revise from there. But sometimes they need to see that plan written out. They need to see how they can truly live in this period of their life as optimal as possible, even though it looks completely different than what their life used to look like, and hopefully looks completely different than what their life is going to look like in the future. So that's all I've got for you today. It's time we help our people optimize their suboptimal, and we can use that nuance, that conversation, that understanding their motivations to really help them determine what that looks like for them. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode today. Happy Monday. Have a great week. And hopefully we will see you all soon at the sampler. So catch you all next time. Have a great one.